I think when I look back in my video, that was about 10 years ago, some of these people may not even be here. And I didn't look that old, but now, after 10 years, if you see my recent video, it's not the same anymore. Changes, changeability. Don't you think so? Oh yeah, yes. So nobody can avoid aging. Nobody can avoid death. If in your evolution, you are still looking for acquisition of material, you are still looking to satisfy this traveling bag of existence and not doing anything about it, you're wasting your time. You know what I mean by traveling bag of existence? This is only a bag, a traveling bag, not just a bag, it's a bag, a traveling bag of existence. This is just a bag that you carry like when you go on trip. And every day you have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and every day you're doing the same thing. What do you come to this world for? Fulfilling your karma? The Buddha told us, do something about it. Don't wait. When you breathe your last breath, it's too late because you already would carry your karma to the next life. So the Buddha has been repeatedly saying and saying, don't just sit there and waiting for your death. Do something about it. In this life, the most positive, the fastest way, and the most effort-supplying way is to be ordained as a monk and nun. That role is not even 1% of the human race. Who would become a monk and a nun? First of all, you have to be celibate. And there's a reason to be celibate. If you're not celibate, you're still involved in the world of desires. You cannot get anywhere. You cannot go to nirvana. Unless you're really special, you are not ordained as a monk, but you practice like a layman, but you are as good as a monk. That's different. But I think if we can summarize it before I answer these questions, if you really want to get away from samsara, there are 3 categories, there are 3 courses that you have to take. The first one, morality, or we call it sila. The second one, meditation. The third is wisdom. You explore into these 3 fields. First of all, stay away from bad deeds and only do good deeds. That's the number 1 question. That's what we mean by morality. Stay away from bad deeds and only do good deeds. How? Oh, there's volumes and volumes in precepts, volumes and volumes how to uplift your morality, how to keep it. You know, that's a whole school of thought. And then the second is meditation. Of course, another school of thought in meditation. How do you meditate? The objective meditation procedures involved. Third, wisdom. How do you do contemplation vipassana? All these are the courses. Anyway, Venerable, is there a karma protection from the future into the past, or only from past into the future? So you still attach to your past. Why do you have to attach to your past? And you have to change the past. You can't change the past anymore. When the past is gone, how can you change? Can you change yesterday's weather? No. You can't even change tomorrow's weather, anyway. You can't even change today's weather. It's changeable. Assuming you can change your whatever you encounter, you cannot change the past. You can change your present. The present is in your hand. Live the present moment. Because you can change the present, subsequently you can change your future. So just the reason why we said be mindful of the present. When the present is good, your future is going to be good. Don't worry about the future. Worry about it, how to do it now. All right, that's the first question. Is there a hall or any space we may come to sit and read the Buddhist teaching books? Yeah, we have what we call a library, and but we're short of volunteers. We depend on volunteers. Our temple has a history of 30 years. In the first 15 years, we opened the library to the public, assuming that everybody's honest. But we lost a lot of books. We already have printed in here, do not take the books out. You have to discipline yourself. But we still keep on losing books. Or more, we lose books with photographs, with beautiful pictures in it. Good books, expensive books on the sutras, they're lost. And because we open to the public, we don't have a librarian, we can't afford a librarian, we depend on volunteers, and sometimes volunteers around. One volunteer told me, we don't have too many volunteers, one volunteer in the library told me that, yeah, I saw that couple just about half an hour ago, and he came over the coat, and I saw he stuck a thick book under his coat, and he walked out. I said, why didn't you stop him? No, I don't know. I don't know if it's right to stop him. So people actually took away books from the library. So how can we open the libraries? Stealing, right? You call it. So if you have, we have a library, a lot of books in there, and right now we are renovating the office. And then now we put all the stuff into the library. It's crowded. But when the office, after 3 weeks, it will be all renovated. We'll bring all the desks back, and the library will be empty, and people can use it. We have lots of books in the library. And then if there is a schedule of, say, 7 volunteers who work in the library 7 days, we have volunteers, we can open the library. No, we cannot, because books keep on disappearing. I cannot say, how come Buddhists steal books? Well, there are people who are not Buddhists coming into the library too. And how can I guarantee that Buddhists don't steal books? I do not discriminate any religion, you know. Any people would have that inclination to take those things that they do not possess. Not just people belong to other religions, even people belong to Buddhism. I don't discriminate any other people. No, we don't. It's just people, they took books away. So there are many free CDs today. They all appear to be in Chinese. Are there any in English? Yes. You don't have to get a CD, get on YouTube. Get into a lot of these teachers talking in English. Write it down. Bhattane Punachi, a monk, Sri Lankan monk, he gave excellent lectures. And Ajahn Brahm, he gave excellent lectures. Ajahn Sumetto, Ajahn Sirapano, and many lectures in the YouTubes. So lots in English, okay? Of course, lots in Chinese too. What is the cost of karma? The cost of karma, to give it very briefly, craving, ignorance, greediness. If volition is dependent upon ignorance, then what is ignorance dependent upon? Ignorance is from the cycle of life and death. Ignorance is from the mind. Ignorance dependent on a mind that is polluted. Because you don't have the clear understanding, then you're ignorant. It's a cycle. Who is the beginning, who is the end? The end is the beginning is the end. Death is life, life is death. And when you draw a circle, where is the starting point? The starting point is the ending point. Why are you looking for time dimensions? The Buddhist teaching transcends time dimensions. The past, the present, and the future only in a dimension that is fictitious. Live beyond, transcend time and space. Only when you transcend time and space, forced thinking, would you be able to get enlightened. And it takes wisdom to transcend time and space. Not a rocket, not science, not a plane. What is Prajnaparamita? You probably have missed the first 30 hours of my talk. So maybe sometime later you can get onto the YouTube to find out Prajnaparamita. I spent 30 hours on Prajnaparamita. I really like your use of metaphor hotel when explaining how we get our body, 5 skandhas, dependent origination, Paticcasamuppada. What is the literal meaning of Paticcasamuppada? The 12 dependent origination, one dependent on the others. It's like a chain dependent on the others. One dependent on the others. Well, just to summarize it, the fact that you are here listening to this monk saying something about the Buddhist teaching, I didn't invent the Buddhist teaching. You must have a condition and cause that have brought you here. You must have learned Buddhism in your previous life. Nurture that. You come here, there must be a cause. That cause could be past life. Condition that again. You already have that seed. It's sprouting. Continue to let it sprout. Fertilize it, water it, sunlight, labor, until it sprouts into anuttara samya sambuddhi. You don't need sensual pleasures. That gets us into trouble. When you end this life, what is sensual pleasure? When you end this life, what's the use of your deposit box in which you put your diamond rings? What's the use of a bank account that contains $5 million? What's the use of a luxury home? What's the use of your Ferrari? None of that you can access to. You couldn't bring anything with you to 5 feet under ocean grave, ocean view. Ocean view, 8 feet underneath it, or 7 feet underneath it. What can you bring? You can bring nothing with you. The only thing you can bring with you is your own karma, good, bad, or neutral. Watch your karma. That's it for today.